Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Patriot Armory. I am the entryman in the stack, and today is a response to President Obama's address to the nation last night regarding our economic situation. In short, it was the most disgusting attempt for a politician to recover any ground he lost by simply repeating the same keywords and catchphrases time after time after time again. It was reported that he was interrupted 66 times by applause from all of his crony shitheads who were sitting on the floor. Anyway, it's funny because I didn't hear the American people applauding. What I heard the American people doing were going, "What? Are you fucking serious?" He talked a little bit about his earmark-free stimulus bill, and we're going to cover that for just a minute. Earmark-free. $30 million has been allocated in this stimulus bill for the California marsh mouse. And this portion of the stimulus bill was penned by none other than, dun 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 dun, Feinstein. Imagine that. Man, aren't we impressed? And $30 million for a disease-carrying rodent that can spread infectious bacteria and all that good rot. What that has to do with the economy, I haven't been able to figure it out. So, moving right along, groups like Acorn, and we haven't talked much about Acorn, but by God, we're going to. I know that we said that we were going to knock it off with the political videos, but I've received an overwhelming flood of support and requests to keep them going, so this channel belongs to you, the American people. We're just here to operate it. I notice also that good old Prez last night did not bother to mention a single fucking word about the $1 billion they're sending to Gaza to rebuild and reconstruct. What the hell that has to do with us as the American taxpayer, no one's been able to explain to me. We're sending $1 billion. We're currently in the middle of a... Here's something else I want to share with you guys. Just think about this for a couple minutes, okay? Anytime the government tells you one thing, you can do one of two things. You can either expect the next worse step in the levels of progression, or you can expect precisely the opposite. Obama promises you transparency and accountability, yet offers neither. Last night he says we're in the middle of a recession. I don't know about you guys, but it's a full-blown fucking depression to me. My wife and I went into a grocery store the other day that was going out of business. The shelves were all but bare. And we said, hey, we got to take advantage of it while we can. Sorry, guys, I hate it that their business went out, but, it gives me the opportunity to save money on some decent stuff. So, and it's not uncommon. You see it popping up all over the nation. Businesses are dropping left and right. People, the housing crisis, the foreclosure crisis, this is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're going to rebuild, we're going to reconstruct, we're going to stand tall and proud again, and it's going to... What he didn't fucking tell you guys, man, here's what he told you. He told you that, by 2010, we're going to pull all the combat troops out of Iraq. Anybody that's ever served in so much as the National Guard knows that that is not possible. You can't do it. There's no bloody way in hell you can pull over 100,000 combat troops, vehicles, equipment, administrative supplies. Shit, it took them a couple of years just to get set up and running decently. You put a couple of carrier battle groups in there, and you put a couple of quick reaction forces on the ground to set up camps. But in order to get fully operational, you ain't going to do it overnight, and you sure as hell ain't going to break down overnight. Okay, so all this, and they don't have any intention of bringing all the troops out of Iraq at all. That was a goddamn bald-faced lie. If you review policy, people, and you're paying fucking attention, which is what you better start doing if you're not already, they're talking about leaving 50,000 administrative and support personnel on the ground, military troops on the ground. You can't leave them there without backup. They have to have security. And they can't do it themselves. So you have to leave a combat contingent behind. Those people have to be there. Okay, then you have to provide them security. So he's not doing what he said he was going to do. He's not ending the Iraq war. He's not pulling out. He's not making them accountable for their own shit. He's leaving 50,000 of our people there, and you can guarantee yourself that there'll be an additional 50,000 plus for security. Now, somebody that I admire and respect greatly, old end-time watchman. If you haven't heard of him, you damn well better. I don't know what happened, but man, he's had a whole change of appearance and all kinds of neat stuff, and his hair went bye-bye and the beard went gone and everything, and it seems like he toned down a little bit, and I'd like to think that maybe I absorbed a little bit of his fire and passion, because I'll tell you what, I'm getting wound up. I'm to the point anymore where, we sit back and, shit, people, I'll give you a prime example. Last night, Dickwad Obama, and that's how I'm going to refer to him from this point forward, is Dickwad Obama. Dickwad Obama mentions the Transcontinental Railroad. and how, in the middle of a civil war, we managed to build Transcontinental Railroad as one of the greatest American mechanical achievements of all time. Let me take a few moments of your time and brush you up on the history of the Transcontinental Railroad and who really built it. This is cited from Wikipedia. The majority of the Union Pacific track was laid by Irish laborers and veterans of both the Union and Confederate armies. Brigham Young, president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, wished to see the railroad support immigration in the population centers in Ogden and Salt Lake, etc., etc., etc. Built by Irish laborers. The Central Pacific track was constructed primarily by Chinese immigrants. Even though at first they were thought to be too weak or fragile to do this type of work, after the first few days on which the Chinese were on the line, the decision was made to hire as many as could be found in California, where most were independent gold miners or in service industries as laundries and kitchens. In other words, they were fucking slaves. This is being very kind to those Chinese people. It's not telling the whole truth, because it's not pretty. The truth is never pretty. Many more were imported from China. Imported from China. Most of the men received between $1 and $3 per day, but the workers arriving directly from China received much less. That's called fucking slavery. Eventually, they went on strike and gained a small increase in salary. Now, where in the fuck? Oh, stand by. In addition to track laying, which typically employed approximately 25% of the labor force, the operation also required the efforts of hundreds of tunnelers, explosive experts, bridge builders, blacksmiths, carpenters, engineers, masons, surveyors, teamsters, telegraphers, and even cooks, just to name a few of the trades. Now, what they are not telling you in this overly pretty version of the story is that a major percentage of them were Chinese slaves. So it indeed was not American ingenuity that did it. It was the ability for the American people to rely on others. Irish people, Irish immigrants, and Chinese slaves. Now, we're in the middle of Black History Month, which is why I brought it up. Black History Month, all these guys talking about slavery and reparation and how, oh, we'll never do... How come there's no yelling and screaming and cussing and fighting and reparation and all that shit for all those Chinese slaves? You're so damn worried about your slavery all the time. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Bobby Wright, all you other right-wing left-wing, soft-assed, midsection, fucking fat-bottom bastards, sitting out there so worried about, slavery, all of those poor Africans, look at what we did to those poor Africans. Africans were not the only people that were enslaved. Chinese were slaves too. And you don't hear them bitching and crying. I just thought it was amazingly funny and ironic to me that this asshole president brings up the Transcontinental Railroad in the middle of Black History Month, in the middle of an economic depression, when it was built by slaves. The Wikipedia has a very cleansed version of how it really went down. But in any case, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on that one. I got your attention on that one. If you don't believe me, research it. But we need to talk about things like Acorn. We need to talk about how these politicians decided to vote in an economic process that was 1,200 pages long and less than they didn't even have fucking time to review the whole bill before they enacted it. So how do we know what in the hell they just really did? Have you read the bill? Do you know what's in it from cover to cover? I doubt it. And I'd be willing to lay you nickels to pesos that they don't know what the fuck was in it either. It was a political power play. They did what they always do. They spin up the ignorant American masses and go, hey, you people don't really know what the fuck is going on, but we're going to talk so fast and so funny, and we're going to use all these flash catchphrases that you're not going to know what the fuck we're talking about. We're going to go, yay, Obama! 9/11, 9/11, 9/11 terrorist, Bush was an asshole. And then all you ignorant ass fucking sheep out there go, and then you go out there and you use your God-given right to vote. Click, Obama. Dude, seriously. You know, what's funny is how many people that voted for Obama that are now suddenly turning around and going, oh my God, what the hell did we do? What the fuck did we just do? Well, you just put an absolute moron in office. His grandiose plan. You know, he talked about this great grand stimulus package and all this tax. You're going to see a $9 a week tax cut in your check, people. That's all you fucking get. There are no checks coming out. So many states are going, we don't have the money to give you your refunds this year. So, you know, we're at 9:40 right at the moment. You know, we get clipped at 10 minutes. So, in any case, I'm going to take this last 20 seconds and say, come back for part 2, because I'm not really done yet. I got all this stuff going around in my head, and I got all this stuff I want to make sure you guys are paying attention to. I want to thank you again for watching. Please stay tuned for part 2. It's coming right up.